What's going on, guys? James here, and today I'd like to talk about initial coin offerings, or ICOs, and whether they are generally worth the risk or not. So to start off, we should probably get an understanding of what an ICO is. An ICO is basically the cryptocurrency version of an IPO, or initial public offering. The host of an ICO allows you to buy in their token at a fixed rate, usually before any sort of exchange listing, usually with Ethereum, and generally tend to give bonuses based on how early you invest, but it of course varies on a case-to-case basis. You're basically betting that the price will go up after the token you buy into lists on exchanges, and this is a bet that actually works out a surprising amount, almost to the point where I think ICOs are in somewhat of a speculative bubble, but that's of course a topic for a different video. So ICOs are a phenomenon that really picked up steam in 2017, and though many have yielded massive profits, some have actually failed miserably. And I think an excellent example of an ICO that failed miserably is Confido. And Confido just massively imploded, leaving many investors with empty bags and huge losses, but it is important to note that cases like Confido occur very seldom, especially considering how many ICOs exist. I mean, take a look at this tool, and starting from the beginning, you can see ICOs at first, there were almost none, and then we get in the Ethereum ICO coming up, and from 2017 is where it just really started to explode. From 2017 on, you can see just a massive implosion of ICOs and all sorts of coins being started. It's pretty fucking ridiculous. It's pretty ridiculous. So I mean, is this sustainable? I have no idea. It's incredible. I mean, it's only getting worse into 2018. This chart only goes to November 2017, so you can imagine how many more have happened since then. So maybe it's sustainable, maybe it isn't, but moving on, let's take a look at the upsides and downsides of putting your money into an ICO. So, starting with the downsides, the first major downside to investing in an ICO is the fact that you have to lock your money into the ICO token for a moderate amount of time. This can be particularly painful when you could be investing in coins that double in value while you're stuck with a temporarily static investment, especially if it's Ethereum that's increasing in value since that's what you're contributing the ICO with. Another downside to investing in ICOs is the high risk of initial exchange dumpings. This is something that actually happened to me personally. I hastily invested in an ICO because I liked the concept so much and didn't really read in the presale bonuses enough. And it turned out that presale whales were getting astronomical bonuses at the beginning of the presale, and they were more than happy just to dump their coins on exchanges for double what they paid for it, which unfortunately for me was less than half of the ICO price. I can't stress enough the importance of researching the bonuses that an ICO gives in a private and public presale, because this will affect you tremendously as an ICO investor. So I think the last major downside to ICO investing is the learning curve. I absorb information somewhat quickly, so I was able to understand the intricacies of using smart contracts, sending my coins to ERC20 compatible wallets where I control the keys and all that sort of stuff relatively quickly, but I understand it can be somewhat difficult and somewhat of a major time commitment for the average investor. And by the way, let me know if any of you are interested in me doing a basic ICO contribution tutorial, because I'd be more than happy to show the basics of investing in an ICO if there's enough interest for it. But last, let's get into the upsides of investing in ICOs. So first, when you put money into an ICO, you're basically getting in at the ground floor of a coin. So since you're putting money into it first, you get to reap the maximum benefits from your initial investment. A lot of ICOs have paid off massively for investors. I mean, just look at the Icon coin ICO for a great example. They got 87 times returns in terms of US dollars, 20 times investment in Ethereum, 25 times their investment in Bitcoin. So this is some pretty ridiculous growth. I mean, and the contributors only had to send their Ethereum to the smart contract and just wait. No fancy day trading or anything like that required. So another upside to investing in ICOs is the flip potential. And a lot of times I've noticed this happens, particularly with smaller market capped ICOs. A massive pump sometimes occurs right after an exchange listing for a coin just coming out of ICO. People start to fear missing out the coin, and it gives you the perfect opportunity to just dump your bags on someone. And honestly, at the end of the day, investing in any sort of ICO is a high risk, high reward endeavor, and it's very important to be mindful of the risks and potential massive returns. So be sure to keep an eye out, especially for ICOs that you feel are trying to raise a realistic amount of money. I would personally much rather contribute to an ICO with a $10 million market cap than one with a $100 million market cap. If you're not sure where to find solid quality ICOs, I mean, there's a couple websites that list a ton of ICOs, like ICO Drops is a great example of that, but you have to be cautious of whether the ICOs and the price on the site are paying the websites for a promotion, which isn't always disclosed. I mean, on this site they disclose it, but a lot of these sites will sponsor like different ICOs because the ICOs will pay them and they won't disclose it, so it kind of trick you into investing. Aside from that, you can stumble across a lot of hidden gems by just prowling on social media and forums, all that sort of stuff. But anyways, thanks for watching. I mean, feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed or learned something or just want more videos.